These 8 students comprise the Stockbridge Advanced Underwater Robotics class at Stockbridge High School. They are in grades 10, 11, and 12. These students were presented with the opportunity of a lifetime by a group called the Bent Prop Project. The Bent Prop Project is a non-government organization, a group of volunteers that spends its own time and money to help search for missing airmen from World War II in the Palau Islands. The Bent Prop Project asked my students to design, build, and then operate an underwater remotely operated vehicle capable of diving to 125 feet in the Pacific Ocean. Once the students received the design brief from the Bent Prop Project, they began the process by brainstorming, putting to use their prior knowledge of robotics and underwater robotics. They then compiled a list of all the capabilities that they desired in the robot and that were required for the mission. The next step was to compile those into a written design. They used a basic CAD program and created a sketch of the underwater robot that they wished to build. The students then divided themselves into small groups for the build. They had a team dedicated to electronics and a team dedicated to the structure. The electronics group worked along using their prior knowledge and working as a group. They had scaffolding which was provided by prior knowledge of robotics, a wealth of information at hand, and should they get stuck, they could consult with the other group or consult with the teacher. As they moved forward, they made great progress putting together the initial electrical system. Eventually, though, they came to a roadblock that they were not able to handle on their own. The students and their team had reached the zone of proximal development. It was time for more scaffolding and more assistance from the teacher. But this is a point where a teacher could go wrong by just giving the answer. Rather than giving the answer, it was time to sit down and question the students on what they had learned, what they had tried, and what they might try to solve the current problem. It was decided to use the KISS principle, or as we like to call it, Keep It Simple Stockbridge. And we backed up and reverted to a tried and true system that we had used in the past, the VEX microcontroller. Once the students completed their new electronic control system, they were allowed to present it to the world, both on the internet and in the classroom. With the electronic control system completed, it was time to move on. It was time to bring the electronics group and the structure group together. This provided more opportunities for collaboration with larger groups of students, and as a teacher, a chance to back off even more into the background and let the students work with their newfound knowledge to produce a product ready to enter in the water. Now with the ROV completely assembled and tested in the classroom, it was time for another authentic assessment. This time the students would take the ROV to the pool and demonstrate that it could meet the mission parameters in the pool environment. Not only would they be demonstrating the ROV to themselves and their team members, they would also be presenting it to members of the Bent Prop Project before our final test. The final assessment of this project is a real-world mission that takes the students 8,200 miles away from their small Michigan town of Stockbridge. The students transport their ROV to the Republic of Palau, an island nation in the western Pacific Ocean where over 200 aircraft went missing during World War II. This gives the students an opportunity to join the search. Each day, the students ride the boat over 7 miles out into the Pacific Ocean to begin their search for a missing aircraft. And then, after 8 months of hard work, they find it. 7 miles out in the ocean and over 60 feet down is an airplane, a Marine Corsair shot down in 1944. The students will later find out that it was piloted by Captain McCullough and crashed after being damaged by shrapnel from the ground. Captain McCullough survived the crash, and the students are able to report finding their aircraft to him later.